welcome family, friends, and loved ones. Before we get started, Chris and Komal have requested that you please put away your cameras and cell phones so that we can all be present in this moment. Looking at you. I would like to thank you all for being here this evening, for making the journey and for taking the time, and for all the effort that it takes, not only to be a part of this day, but to be a part of each other's lives. Today is an occasion that I know is not only special for Chris and Komal, but for all of us who are lucky enough to know and love them as individuals, and even more so as a perfect pair. I think I've had the good fortune to meet most of you here today at some point or another. But for those of you whom I haven't met, I'm Caitlin, and I'm Chris, and now Komal's cousin. As an outside observer to Chris and Komal's developing love, it was clear to me that the two of them are a perfect couple, because each of them complements the other so well. They balance one another. And while each of them is a remarkable individual on their own, together they are even better. And being better together as partners is ultimately what leads us to be here today. As many of you know, Chris and Komal were joined in marriage in a Hindu ceremony in 2020 and a civil ceremony in 2021. Most of us weren't able to be with them on those days, but we are here now to bear witness to what their relationship has become. Today, they will affirm their love publicly in front of those they love the most. I wish I could tell you a single story about Chris and Komal that summarizes their relationship and just how much they enrich each other's lives and the lives of each of us. But the truth is, there isn't one single event that is a good encapsulation of what they mean to me, to each other, and to all of us. But what I do know is that both of them care deeply and passionately for each other. They protect each other. They make each other laugh, and they think outside themselves. They help each other in ways that are obvious and unnoticed, but always appreciated. I also know that it's not just with anybody who you can survive the stresses of medical school, endure a long-distance relationship during residency years, coordinate busy doctor schedules, and vacation requests from family and friends, adopt and care for a dog named Bean, and simply delight in each other's company. They do that for and with each other. It's also my personal experiences with Chris and Komal that highlight the quality of their love. It doesn't matter if I'm with them in person or 1,000 miles away texting with them. Whenever I'm engaging with Chris and Komal, I'm always enjoying myself. And I'm certain that that's part of what makes them so special to each of us. How happy and content we feel when we are with them. And what I wish for them today is that their life together is one of complete contentment, full of those moments that they wish would never end. And that they continue to make one another smile and laugh as much as they make each of us do. Chris and Komal, in the midst of a global pandemic, you privately pledged your love together. Now, you are coming together again in front of your family and friends to recommit to one another. You've already proven that you can make things work through the worst of times. And now you can look forward to sharing the best of times together. Chris and Komal would like to incorporate a few elements of their culture into the ceremony today. First, we have the golden black beaded necklace known as the Nutla Pu Sa Lu. The black beads of the necklace, put on by the groom, is said to absorb all the negative energy before they can reach the bride and her family. It is worn as a symbol of dignity and signifies the promise of the couple to always be together. It is said to protect the bride's family from the evil eye and keep the married couple happy and safe. In the spirit of love and unity, Chris and Komal will now exchange garlands. This tradition symbolizes the partners welcome each other into the other's families. Chris and Komal are now going to share a drink from the quaich. The quaich is a two-handled loving cup and an ancient tradition that seals the bond of two people. It's coming. Today is a celebration of marriage. A marriage that will grow, not without challenge and adversity, but with patience, love, and the belief that they have chosen wisely in choosing each other. Chris and Komal would like to renew the promises that they made before, but they have written their own vows that they would like to share for the first time today. Chris, when you're ready, you may begin.
Komal. No amount of preparation was going to make me feel ready for this, mostly because trying to put into a brief statement the stories, lessons, meaning, and future of our relationship feels like such a challenge. But in some ways, challenges and how we get through them is a big part of what this is about. We met at the beginning of what would be one of the biggest social, emotional, taxing, and rewarding paths on which we could find ourselves and find each other. As mentioned from meeting in med school, we ended up over 1,000 miles apart, embarking on the next even more trying stage of our training and residency, and making new friends while trying to stay connected, and we did. We coordinated unsynchronized schedules, made 24-hour turnarounds, we spoke for hours, and we still managed to plan annual trips pre-COVID to make time for each other. And the thought of not being together was always more daunting than the stresses of being physically apart. And by the time we were finally back in the same city, it was even more clear how worth the wait this was. There will be more challenges for sure, but as with those before, I know we will be a team. We will support each other in becoming the best versions of ourselves and the best us. And to that end, I vow to always support you in your growth. You are brilliant, kind, considerate, and so much fun. And you'll have me in your corner reminding you how much you deserve your success. I vow to make you laugh. I know you don't want to admit that you find me funny, but it's time to give up the act. I vow to share in all the things that are important to both of us, making sure you listen to me geek out about something truly obscure or dragging you to the beach volleyball court, and you will catch me up on the intricate drama of Love is Blind, or Temptation Island, or Bachelor in Paradise. And when not watching reality television, we will make sure to check out the local art fairs or run off for the weekend to try ghost tours in every city. I vow to remind you that you are important and loved and missed and adored. I also vow to do the laundry if you'll do the dishes. Komal, I look forward to that and so much more, challenging or not, as long as it's with you. I love you.
Komal, when you're ready, you may begin.
So it turns out I had a lot to say. Well, Chris, we finally made it here after 8 years, 4 match days, 3 cities, 2 weddings, a pandemic. we're here with our family and friends. During this ride together, we've had many laughs, new experiences, moments, stresses, and struggles. And throughout all of this, you've been steady, calm, reasonable, and excessively patient and accepting of who I am. If you remember, there was one day I had wanted to drive home after a late shift. You spent some amount of time gently talking to me about it and finally said I would feel better if you didn't. In a moment of feeling angst because I wanted to be home, I had said, I wish you'd just tell me what to do rather than letting me choose. You said there's a difference between asking and telling, and that difference is meaningful. Of course, with that kind of gentleness, I couldn't say no. As you may remember, you were one of the first people I met in med school. At orientation, when I was still into print mixing and wild colors, you were warm, friendly, and curious. Later on, I would realize observant, as you noticed in a room for over 200 people that I had done my eyeliner differently. I found much of our early interactions wonderful interruptions in my daily routine. However, with time and getting to know each other further, I started to realize how wonderful you truly were. One of your first attributes I grew to love was your love of family. The way you are with your parents, your brother, numerous aunts, uncles, cousins, and of course, abuela. Never losing sense of self and where you've come from while going out on your own to pursue your life. I knew I wanted to be a part of that. Initially, I was uncertain how our cultures would mesh. However, this proved not to be a barrier. As with your classic persistence and patience, you've worked your magic to gain the love of my family. By eating a whole chicken because you didn't know you had to say you were full 3 times, fielding medical phone calls from my parents, sometimes even before they called me, to watching Telugu movies with my dad even after he fell asleep because you had to know what happened to the main character, and to reciting the words of the Hindu ceremony with better pronunciation and reverence than me. You are most certainly a part of the family. So much so that now when my parents call, my dad often reminds me not to annoy you because you are busy and to make sure you're getting fed. With time and the occasional misunderstanding, we have grown together in our understanding of each other. You fulfill needs I didn't know I had. You manage to be genuine, earnest, supportive, even when your cup feels empty, and for that I'm forever grateful. You've quickly become the person I go to for advice, support, case debriefings, and company. I found that the more time I spend with you, the more time I want to spend with you, which is lucky since we've spent a lot of time together recently. So for all the things you've given me, let me give you a few back. I promise to grow with you as we navigate the future. I'll always try to understand your point of view. I'll hold your hand at takeoff and landing. I'll join you in the last-minute crammed dance sessions. I'll take Bean out in the middle of the night, even when it's your turn. And I'll love you unconditionally in this phase of life and all others still to come. We've shared so much together over the years, the best of which I'm not able to capture with just an essay. You have enriched my life and shown me a love that will last a lifetime. I love you.
Thank you. Let us now have the rings brought forward by Aaron. He's busy, okay. Matt, you tag in, okay. Thank you. The wearing of these rings will be a continual acknowledgement of the words that you have vowed to one another today. When you look at these rings on your hands, be reminded of this moment, your commitment, and the love you now feel for each other. Chris, as you place the ring on Komal's hand, please repeat after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
With the promise to love you always and forever. Komal, as you place the ring on Chris's finger, please repeat after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of my love. With the promise to love you always and forever.
Knuckles.
We did it, all right. Chris and Komal, today you participated in culturally significant traditions, shared your vows, and exchanged rings in front of your closest family and friends. May you have many long years to delight in each other's company, and to love and be loved by all of those who have come here today to support you. May you continue to do meaningful, productive work at home and in the world, learning from your failures and growing in your accomplishments together. May life's challenges be met with courage and optimism, and may your days be filled with laughter, trust, friendship, and love. On behalf of all those present here today, and by the strength of your own love, I pronounce you very much still married. You may now kiss.
You went with the jacket.